What's up, everyone? This is Keith, joined by my girl Stacy. We are from the Fantasy and Frames Draft Show, and we want to get you ready for Wildcard Weekend with the 10 stats on players that we think you need to know before doing DFS lineups or doing some best balls. And I'm going to start us off with Jaden Daniels, the fantasy cheat code. Daniels averaged 7.35 points per game just with his legs. And over his last 5 full games, 382 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, which alone is ridiculous. And then how about he also had 15 passing touchdowns?
I have got the next one for you. You know him, you love him. He is the GOAT of wide receivers, Justin Jefferson. Best wide receiver cornerback matchup per PFF. And while facing defense, he's going to be facing a defense that allows the most yards to outside receivers.
All right, I got Puka Nacua next. Puka is facing a Vikings team that blitzes at the highest rate in the NFL. That is very good for people that play Puka Nacua this weekend because among all pass catchers, his 45% target rate when the Rams are blitzed is the highest in the NFL. And per PFF, he has the second best cornerback wide receiver matchup this weekend.
I've got a tight end for you, and it's probably not the one you're thinking. It's actually Patrick Freiermuth, Patty Fries, as his friends like to call him. He is the 9th most productive fantasy tight end this season. Last 2 weeks of the season, he was targeted 18 times and came away with a score.
You know, I love the Patty Fries nickname. I've already used it. All right, next up, the guy that has really came into his own with Jim Harbaugh, that's Justin Herbert. Ironically, even though J.K. Dobbins kind of struggled down the stretch, he has been a key component to Justin Herbert's success because over Herbert's final 7 games that J.K. Dobbins played, he threw 12 touchdowns for 0 interceptions and rushed for 241 yards on the ground with an additional 2 scores. 5 of Herbert's top 6 passing totals for the entire season came in those final 7 games where Dobbins played. Dobbins is going to play this week. That's good for Herbert and the LA Chargers.
I got one that's near and dear to my own heart as a Packer fan, and that is going to be running back
Homer.
Josh Jacobs. Absolutely a homer. He has 8 weeks of giving you 20 plus points of fantasy production. If the Packers have any chance against the Eagles, it's going to be running it down their throats with Josh Jacobs.
Yes, it is. Zay Flowers, we know he is doubtful for this game. We'll see whether or not, he returns in 2 weeks. The Ravens need him, but I expect Mark Andrews to step up. He is next on the stats you need to know. Among all tight ends, Andrews leads in yards per route run when being blitzed. Pittsburgh blitzes at a top 5 rate in the NFL, and they really struggle with tight ends. Pittsburgh is in the bottom 7 in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns allowed to opposing tight ends.
I got a defense for you if you're playing in a tournament where you have to pick a defense. I'm going to give you the LA Chargers. They have got a 35.1 pressure rate this season, which is the highest they've had since 2018. They are also tied in the NFL for 5th most in interceptions.
I love that. Let's, for my stats, you need to know, finish you off with a rookie who disappointed early and then exploded onto the scene late, and that is Jalen McMillions. 7 touchdowns in his final 5 games. I have been trying to get confirmation if any other rookie receiver has ever done that. And the only one I could think of even maybe doing would be like Randy Moss or OBJ. He also had 5+ receptions in each of his last 5. But the big thing, do not forget, Mike Evans may have avoided his arch nemesis, Marshawn Lattimore, with their late matchup versus the Saints week 18. But the Commanders traded for him, and they will be dueling this week. And with Lattimore on Evans, that's going to open up a big opportunity for McMillan to get at this defense in Washington that really struggles. They allow the 3rd most receptions to opposing wide receivers.
I'm going to bring us on home with a rookie wide receiver and a number 2 or a second-year receiver in Devon Vele and Marvin Mims. This one is going to be specific to my DFS people out there. Do you guys know that the Bills run zone at a top 5 rate? Why is this important? Because among Mims, Sutton, and Devon Vele, Mims has the highest target rate versus zone of the three, and both Mims and Vele average more fantasy points per target and have a higher win rate versus zone than Sutton. And guess what? They both cost a lot less, 1,500 to 2,500 less than Cortland Sutton does over on DraftKings.
You know, I love saving money. Be sure to check out all the amazing work on Fantasy and Frames. Give me and Stacy a follow on the Twitter/X. You can follow Stacy at Stacy_Perez83. Mine is just Keith Flemming, spelled out 2 M's. And be sure to check out us all off season on the Fantasy and Frames draft shows. We draft best balls. What else are we going to draft, Stacy? All kinds of stuff, right?
Best balls. We're going to draft redrafts. We're going to draft everything that's out there to draft. We are going to do it this season.
And I have a feeling the show will go off the rails, but that's okay. We will see you guys soon. Good luck with all your bets, DFS, and best ball lineups for the playoffs.